Close your eyes for a moment, not to sleep but to imagine. Right now, somewhere in the world, a person is drifting off. Their breathing slows, their thoughts blur, and within minutes, something extraordinary begins. Their brain will repair itself. Their memories will reorganize. Toxins will wash away. Their body will rebuild from the inside out. This is not magic. This is sleep. And for the next 2 hours, we're going to explore what actually happens during those mysterious hours when you disappear from the waking world. You've spent roughly a third of your entire life asleep, but you've been unconscious for all of it. Tonight, that changes. Let's discover what your body has been doing while you've been gone. Why humans must sleep. Sleep is everywhere. In every corner of the living world, creatures shut down. Birds sleep. Fish sleep. Insects sleep. Even jellyfish, animals without brains, show sleep-like states. If you study any animal long enough, you will find that it sleeps. This is remarkable when you think about it. Sleep is dangerous. While you sleep, you cannot eat. You cannot reproduce. You cannot defend yourself. You are vulnerable. From an evolutionary perspective, sleep should have been eliminated millions of years ago. Any creature that didn't need sleep would have an enormous advantage. They could hunt while others rested. They could escape while predators slept. But sleep remains. It persists across every branch of the animal kingdom. This tells us something profound. Sleep is not optional. It is not a luxury. It is a biological necessity so fundamental that evolution has protected it at all costs. Scientists have tested this with rats. When rats are deprived of food, they survive for weeks. But when deprived of sleep, they die within days, faster than starvation. Their immune systems collapse. Their body temperature becomes unstable. They develop lesions. Sleep deprivation is lethal. The same is true for humans, though we cannot ethically test this. But we know from tragic cases and extreme circumstances that humans cannot survive without sleep. The longest scientifically verified time a human has gone without sleep is 11 days. By the end, the person experienced paranoia, hallucinations, and could barely function. Their body was shutting down. So why? Why is sleep so essential that nature would rather let us die than give it up? For most of human history, we didn't know. Sleep seemed like nothing, a blank space, lost time. We assumed the body simply turned off like a machine powering down, but we were wrong. Sleep is not an absence of activity. It is a different kind of activity, a biological maintenance program that runs only when consciousness steps aside. Your brain does not rest during sleep. In some ways, it works harder than when you're awake. Your body does not pause. It repairs, rebuilds, and resets. Sleep is not the opposite of being awake. It is the foundation of being awake. Without it, waking life crumbles. Every cell in your body follows a rhythm, a clock built into your DNA. This is called your circadian rhythm, and it governs when you feel alert and when you feel tired. Light and darkness synchronize this clock, but the clock itself runs independently. Even in total darkness, your body knows when it should sleep. This rhythm exists because sleep is not a random event. It is scheduled, predictable, essential. Your body prepares for sleep hours before you feel tired. Hormones shift, temperature drops, systems wind down. By the time you finally close your eyes, your body has already been working toward this moment for hours. And when you finally let go, when you surrender to sleep, something beautiful begins. The moment you fall asleep. You lie down, the room is dark, you close your eyes. At first, you are still awake. Your mind wanders. You think about your day, your plans, random fleeting thoughts. But slowly, something shifts. Your brain operates on electrical waves. When you're awake and alert, your brain produces fast, irregular waves called beta waves. These waves reflect active thinking, problem-solving, concentration. But as you relax, these waves begin to slow. First, they shift into alpha waves. This is the state of calm wakefulness. Your mind is still aware, but it's drifting. You're not focused on anything in particular. Your thoughts become softer, less defined. This is the boundary between waking and sleeping. Then the alpha waves give way to theta waves. Slower, deeper, more rhythmic. This is stage 1 sleep. You are no longer fully conscious, but you are not deeply asleep either. You exist in a strange in-between place. If someone whispers your name, you might hear it. A loud sound will wake you instantly, but left undisturbed, you will sink deeper. Your muscles begin to relax, not all at once, but gradually. Tension drains from your shoulders, your jaw, your fingers. Your heart rate slows. Your breathing becomes steady and rhythmic. Your body is letting go. But your brain is still monitoring, still listening. It has not fully released control. And sometimes in this fragile transition, something strange happens. You might feel like you're falling. A sudden jolt. Your leg kicks out. Your whole body jerks awake. This is called a hypnic jerk, and nearly everyone experiences it at some point. Scientists are not entirely sure why this happens, but the leading theory is elegant. As your muscles relax, your brain misinterprets the signal. The sudden loss of muscle tension feels like falling. Your brain panics. It sends an emergency signal to your muscles. Wake up, catch yourself, you're in danger. Your body reacts before your conscious mind even understands what's happening. It's a false alarm, a glitch in the transition between waking and sleeping. But it reveals something important. Your brain does not trust sleep. Even as it prepares to enter this state, it remains vigilant, cautious, ready to pull you back if something seems wrong. But if nothing disturbs you, if you remain still and calm, your brain finally lets go. Conscious control shuts down. The part of you that thinks in words, that makes decisions, that experiences the world as you, fades into the background. You are asleep. But this is only the beginning. Stage 1 to 3, Deep Sleep Explained. Sleep is not one thing. It is a journey. A cycle that repeats throughout the night, each cycle pulling you deeper, then lifting you back toward the surface, over and over until morning. The first stage is light. Stage 1, where you just fell asleep. You can be woken easily. Your brain is still hovering near consciousness, but within minutes you descend into Stage 2. Stage 2 is where most of your night is spent. Your brain waves slow further, but they are interrupted by brief bursts of activity called sleep spindles. These spindles are thought to play a role in memory. Your brain is processing the day, deciding what to keep and what to discard. But you are not aware of this. You are deeply asleep now, though still reachable. A loud noise, a touch, your name called clearly, these can still wake you. But if you remain undisturbed, you descend further. Into Stage 3, deep sleep, slow wave sleep. This is the most restorative stage of sleep, and it is unlike anything else. Your brain waves become long, slow, and powerful. Delta waves. They roll through your brain like ocean swells, slow and unstoppable. Your heart rate drops to its lowest point of the night. Your breathing is deep and steady. Your muscles are completely relaxed. If someone tries to wake you now, it will be difficult. You will feel groggy, confused, disoriented. This is when your body performs its most critical repairs. During deep sleep, your pituitary gland releases growth hormone. This hormone is essential for tissue repair, muscle growth, and bone strengthening. Children experience longer periods of deep sleep than adults because their bodies are still growing. But even in adulthood, this process continues. Every night, your body repairs the microscopic damage accumulated during the day. Your immune system strengthens. White blood cells multiply. Inflammatory responses are regulated. If you are sick, your body fights harder during deep sleep. This is why sleep is so crucial when you're ill. It is not just rest. It is active healing. Your cells repair DNA damage. Throughout the day, ultraviolet light, pollution, and normal metabolic processes cause small breaks in your DNA. Left unchecked, these breaks accumulate. But during deep sleep, your cells activate repair mechanisms. They scan for damage. They fix what they can. They remove what they cannot fix. This is not metaphorical. This is literal molecular repair happening inside your body, every night, without you ever knowing. Deep sleep is also when your brain consolidates memories. The hippocampus, a small seahorse-shaped structure deep in your brain, replays the events of the day. It sends these memories to the cortex, where they are stored more permanently. This process strengthens important memories and lets go of trivial ones. If you study something before sleep, you will remember it better than if you stay awake. This is not a trick or a tip. It is how the brain works. Learning happens during waking, but solidifying that learning happens during sleep. Athletes know this instinctively. Sleep improves performance, not because it gives you energy, but because it allows your brain to integrate new skills. A basketball player practicing free throws will improve more after a night of sleep than after hours of additional practice. The brain rehearses movements during deep sleep, refining them, making them more automatic. Deep sleep is why you feel restored in the morning, why a full night of sleep feels different from a nap, why losing even one night of deep sleep leaves you feeling off for days. Your body knows how much deep sleep you need. If you are sleep deprived, your body will prioritize deep sleep the next night. It will skip or shorten other stages to make sure you get enough. This is called sleep rebound, and it shows how essential deep sleep is. But deep sleep does not last all night. After roughly an hour, your brain begins to stir. Your waves quicken. Your heart rate rises. You ascend back toward lighter sleep. And then something completely different begins. Your brain cleans itself at night. Your brain is the most complex organ in your body. It contains roughly 86 billion neurons, each forming thousands of connections. Every thought, every movement, every sensation you experience is the result of these neurons communicating. But this communication creates waste, metabolic byproducts, proteins that build up between cells, damaged molecules, toxins. During the day, as your brain works, these waste products accumulate. They clog the spaces between neurons. They interfere with signaling. They build up like trash in a city. Your body has a system for removing waste. It's called the lymphatic system, a network of vessels that carries fluid through your tissues, collecting waste and delivering it to the bloodstream, where it can be filtered and removed. But there is one problem. Your brain does not have a lymphatic system. For decades, scientists wondered how the brain managed waste. It was one of the great mysteries of neuroscience. The brain is incredibly active, burning 20% of your body's energy despite being only 2% of your body weight. It should produce enormous amounts of waste, but there was no obvious way for that waste to leave. Then, in 2012, researchers discovered something extraordinary. The brain does have a waste removal system, but it only works during sleep. They called it the glymphatic system. Here is how it works. Your brain is surrounded by cerebrospinal fluid. This clear, water-like fluid cushions your brain, protects it from impact, and delivers nutrients. During the day, this fluid stays mostly outside the brain, but during sleep, something remarkable happens. Your brain cells shrink, not dramatically, but enough to widen the spaces between them. Cerebrospinal fluid flows into these spaces, washing through the brain like a tide. It sweeps up waste products, toxins, metabolic debris. It carries them out of the brain and into the bloodstream, where they are filtered by the liver and kidneys. This process is not subtle. During deep sleep, the flow of cerebrospinal fluid increases tenfold. Your brain is being cleaned, actively, mechanically, thoroughly. One of the waste products removed during this process is a protein called beta amyloid. This protein is strongly linked to Alzheimer's disease. In Alzheimer's patients, beta amyloid accumulates in the brain, forming plaques that disrupt neuron function and lead to memory loss and cognitive decline. But in healthy individuals, this protein is cleared every night, washed away during sleep. This is why chronic sleep deprivation is associated with increased risk of Alzheimer's. Without enough deep sleep, beta amyloid builds up. Night after night, year after year, it accumulates. This is not speculation. Researchers have measured beta amyloid levels in the brain after a single night of sleep deprivation. They rise significantly. One bad night is not enough to cause Alzheimer's, but a lifetime of poor sleep might be. This discovery changed how scientists think about sleep. It is not just for memory or energy. It is for brain health, physical, structural, long-term health. Sleep is when your brain cleans itself. Without it, the brain slowly fills with waste. Function declines, clarity fades, thinking becomes harder. This is why you feel foggy after a bad night of sleep. It is not just tiredness. It is literally a dirtier brain. Waste products that should have been cleared are still there, interfering with signaling, slowing communication between neurons. And it is not just beta amyloid. Other toxins, other proteins, other byproducts of normal brain activity are all cleared during sleep. Your brain depends on this nightly cleaning. Without it, everything breaks down. This is also why sleep position matters. Studies suggest that sleeping on your side may be more effective for glymphatic clearance than sleeping on your back or stomach. The exact mechanism is still being studied, but the idea is simple. Certain positions allow cerebrospinal fluid to flow more efficiently through the brain. This discovery has profound implications. It means sleep is not negotiable. You cannot catch up on lost cleaning. You cannot skip it without consequences. Your brain needs this process every single night. And when you wake up, when you open your eyes and feel clear and ready, that clarity is not just rest. It is a clean brain, a brain that has been scrubbed, flushed, and restored. REM sleep and dreams. After deep sleep, something extraordinary happens. Your brain wakes up. Not fully, not into consciousness, but into a state that looks almost identical to waking life on an EEG scan. Your brain waves quicken. Your eyes begin to move, rapidly, back and forth beneath your closed eyelids. This is REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, and this is where you dream. REM sleep is strange. Your brain is intensely active, but your body is paralyzed. Your muscles are completely shut down, held in place by signals from your brainstem. This paralysis is protective. It prevents you from acting out your dreams. Without it, you would thrash, kick, run, fight, whatever your dream requires. This paralysis is why you sometimes feel frozen in nightmares, unable to move or scream. Your brain is generating the experience, but your body cannot respond. Your heart rate becomes irregular during REM. It speeds up, slows down, spikes unpredictably. Your breathing follows the same pattern, quickening and slowing with the content of your dreams. Your brain is processing emotion, and your body is reacting, even though you are asleep. Dreams feel real because your brain is using the same systems it uses during waking life. The visual cortex lights up, creating images. The auditory cortex generates sounds. The amygdala, the brain's emotion center, fires intensely. Fear, joy, confusion, all of these emotions are processed in real time. Your brain does not distinguish between a real threat and a dreamed one. It reacts the same way. This is why nightmares can wake you with your heart pounding. Why a dream of falling can make your stomach drop. Why you can wake up crying or laughing. Your body is responding to events that never happened, but your brain believes they did. So why do we dream? The honest answer is that we are still not entirely sure. But the leading theory is that REM sleep is for emotional processing. During the day, you experience countless small emotional moments. A frustration, a moment of joy, a worry, an awkward interaction. Your brain does not have time to fully process all of these in the moment, so it saves them. And at night, during REM sleep, it revisits them. Your brain replays emotional experiences, but in a slightly altered, surreal way. It strips away unnecessary details and focuses on the emotional core. This is why dreams are often bizarre. You are not reliving the day. You are processing the feelings of the day. Studies show that people who experience trauma and are then allowed to sleep show better emotional recovery than those who are kept awake. REM sleep seems to soften the emotional intensity of difficult memories. It does not erase them, but it makes them more bearable. It is as if your brain is rehearsing how to handle the emotion without being overwhelmed by it. This is also why anxiety often peaks at night. If you go to bed worried, your brain will process that worry during REM sleep. But because REM amplifies emotion, the worry can feel worse. It spirals. This is not a flaw. It is your brain trying to resolve the feeling. But it can backfire, leaving you more anxious when you wake. REM sleep also plays a role in creativity and problem solving. There are countless stories of scientists, artists, and inventors solving problems in their sleep. The chemist Auguste Kekulé discovered the structure of benzene after dreaming of a snake eating its own tail. Paul McCartney claimed the melody for Yesterday came to him in a dream. This is not magic. It is your brain making connections. During waking life, your thinking is linear, logical, constrained by what makes sense. But during REM sleep, your brain is free to make strange, unexpected connections. It can link ideas that seem unrelated. It can approach problems from angles you would never consciously consider. This is why sleeping on it actually works. Your brain continues working on problems during REM sleep, and you often wake with new insights. Lucid dreaming is a fascinating extension of this. A lucid dream is one where you become aware that you are dreaming while still asleep. Some people experience this naturally. Others train themselves to recognize the signs of dreaming. Once lucid, you can sometimes control the dream, decide where to go, what to do, who to talk to. Scientists have confirmed that lucid dreaming is real. Dreamers can signal researchers from inside a dream using prearranged eye movements. Their brain activity shows they are asleep, but they are conscious within the dream. It is a hybrid state, something between waking and sleeping. Not everyone dreams in the same way. Some people dream in vivid color and intricate detail. Others dream in vague shapes and feelings. Some people rarely remember their dreams at all, though brain scans show they still experience REM sleep. The content of dreams varies wildly between individuals and cultures, but the function seems universal. You spend roughly 2 hours in REM sleep each night, spread across multiple cycles. The first REM period is short, just a few minutes. But as the night progresses, REM periods lengthen. By morning, you may spend 30 minutes or more in a single REM cycle. This is why your most vivid, memorable dreams happen in the early morning hours. And when you finally wake, your brain shuts down the dream. The memory fades almost immediately unless you consciously hold on to it. Within minutes, most dreams are forgotten. They slip away like water through your fingers. This is normal. Your brain does not need you to remember the dream. It only needs to experience it. But the effects remain. Even if you do not remember the dream, your brain has processed emotion. It has made connections. It has softened painful memories and strengthened useful ones. You wake up changed, even if you do not know how. Sleep, intelligence, and personality. Sleep is not just physical repair. It is not just cleaning. It is not just dreaming. Sleep changes who you are. Your ability to think clearly depends on sleep. Memory, attention, decision-making, creativity, all of these are strengthened by sleep and weakened by its absence. A single night of poor sleep reduces cognitive performance as much as being legally drunk. When you are sleep-deprived, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational thought and impulse control, becomes less active. At the same time, your amygdala, the emotion center, becomes more reactive. This combination is dangerous. You think less clearly. You react more emotionally. You make worse decisions. Studies show that sleep-deprived people are more likely to take risks. They are more likely to make impulsive choices. They are worse at reading social cues. They are less empathetic. They are more irritable and more prone to anger. This is not a character flaw. It is brain function. Without sleep, your brain cannot regulate itself properly. The systems that keep you calm, focused, and reasonable are offline. You are operating with diminished capacity, even if you do not feel it. Sleep deprivation also affects learning in profound ways. Students who pull all-nighters before exams perform worse than those who sleep. This surprises many people. It feels like studying more should help. But without sleep, the brain cannot consolidate new information. The hours spent studying are partially wasted because the brain never gets the chance to solidify what it learned. The most effective way to learn is to study, then sleep. The brain will replay the information during deep sleep, strengthening the neural connections. The next day, that information will be more accessible, more stable, easier to recall. This is true for physical skills as well. Musicians, athletes, surgeons, anyone learning a complex motor skill will improve faster with sleep. The brain rehearses these movements during sleep, refining them, making them more automatic. Personality is also shaped by sleep. Chronic sleep deprivation changes how you interact with the world. You become more withdrawn, more pessimistic, more reactive. You lose patience. You struggle to enjoy things that normally bring you pleasure. This is not depression, though it can look similar. It is the brain operating in survival mode. When you are sleep-deprived, your brain prioritizes immediate threats and neglects everything else. Joy, curiosity, connection, these require a well-rested brain. People who sleep well are more emotionally stable. They handle stress better. They recover from setbacks faster. They are more socially skilled and more empathetic. This is not because sleep makes you a better person. It is because sleep allows your brain to function as it is supposed to. Interestingly, sleep needs vary between individuals. Some people genuinely need only 6 hours of sleep and feel fine. Others need 9. This is genetic. Your genes influence how much sleep you need, how deeply you sleep, and how well you tolerate sleep deprivation. But most people underestimate their sleep needs. They believe they function fine on less sleep, but objective measures show otherwise. Reaction time slows. Memory worsens. Mood declines. The person may not feel tired, but their brain is not performing at full capacity. This is because humans are terrible at judging their own sleep deprivation. After a few days of insufficient sleep, you stop feeling worse. You adapt to the new baseline, but your performance does not recover. You are functioning poorly, but you no longer notice. This is why sleep deprivation is so insidious. It convinces you that you are fine. Meanwhile, your decisions become worse, your memory falters, your emotions become less stable, and you have no idea. The only solution is consistent, sufficient sleep. Not just one good night, but night after night. Your brain needs the rhythm, the regularity, the opportunity to repair, clean, and reset. Sleep is not time wasted. It is time invested. Every hour of sleep is an hour your brain spends making you sharper, calmer, more capable. And every hour of lost sleep is an hour your brain struggles to function the next day. Why sleep might be the most important human activity. You will spend roughly 25 years of your life asleep, a third of your existence. If you live to 80, you will have been unconscious for more than 2.5 decades. This seems like an enormous loss. Imagine what you could do with those years, the books you could read, the places you could visit, the work you could accomplish. 25 years is longer than many careers. It is longer than most relationships. It is an entire lifetime compressed into the space between sunset and sunrise. But sleep is not lost time. It is the time that makes all other time possible. Without sleep, memory does not form, learning does not solidify, emotions do not process, your body does not repair, your brain does not clean itself. Every system in your body depends on sleep to function. Remove it, and everything begins to break down. Sleep is not a luxury. It is not optional. It is not something you can borrow against and pay back later. Sleep is the foundation of human health, and we have spent most of human history not understanding this. For much of the 20th century, sleep was seen as wasted time, something to minimize. Successful people bragged about how little sleep they needed. "I'll sleep when I'm dead" became a badge of honor. The modern world is built on the assumption that wakefulness is valuable and sleep is not. But the science tells a different story. Sleep is not the absence of productivity. It is a different kind of productivity. Your brain is working during sleep. Your body is working. They are doing things that cannot happen while you are awake. This is why sleep deprivation has such devastating effects. It is not just tiredness. It is the slow collapse of every system in your body. Your immune system weakens. Your metabolism shifts toward weight gain. Your risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer all increase. Your mental health declines. Your cognitive abilities fade. Chronic sleep deprivation is linked to nearly every major health problem humans face. Yet we treat it casually. We stay up late. We wake early. We interrupt our sleep with alarms, screens, stress. We treat sleep as something we can control and manipulate without consequence. But sleep is not under our control. Not really. It is governed by biology, by ancient rhythms built into every cell. We can fight it. We can delay it. We can disrupt it. But we cannot eliminate the need for it. Evolution spent millions of years perfecting sleep. It exists in every animal because it is essential, not convenient, not optional, essential. And perhaps that is the most profound lesson. Sleep is not something we should fit into our lives. Our lives should be built around sleep. Everything else, work, socializing, entertainment, should come second. Because without sleep, none of those things matter. Without sleep, you are not fully alive. Think of it this way. When you sleep, your brain repairs itself. It cleans itself. It strengthens memories and processes emotions. It solves problems and makes connections. Your body heals. Your immune system strengthens. Your cells repair damage. All of this happens automatically, without effort, without thought. All you have to do is close your eyes. This is extraordinary. This is a gift. Every night, your body offers you the chance to reset, to heal, to become whole again. All you have to do is accept it. But we often refuse. We push sleep aside. We tell ourselves we are too busy, we have too much to do, we will sleep later, we will catch up on the weekend, we will rest when things calm down. But things never calm down. There is always more to do. And meanwhile, the damage accumulates, night after night, year after year, until one day we wonder why we feel exhausted, why we cannot focus, why our memory is not what it used to be, why our mood is low, why everything feels harder than it should. The answer is simple. We have been ignoring the most important activity of our lives. Sleep is not a pause. It is not time out. It is the reset button evolution built into every living creature. It is the mechanism that allows us to face each day with a clear mind, a healthy body, and a resilient spirit. And so, as we come to the end of this journey, the message is simple. Sleep, not because you have to, not because someone told you to, but because your body is asking for it, because your brain needs it, because you deserve it. Close your eyes, let go, trust that your body knows what to do. Trust that while you are gone, while you are somewhere else, somewhere beyond thought and worry, your body will take care of you. It will repair what is broken. It will clear what is clouded. It will make you whole again. And when you wake, you will be ready. Ready for another day, another challenge, another moment of being alive. Sleep is the most important thing you will never remember doing. And that is exactly how it should be. Rest well, the architecture of a full night's sleep. When you close your eyes tonight, you will not simply fall asleep and stay in one state until morning. Sleep is not a flat line. It is a landscape, a series of peaks and valleys that your brain travels through in a precise, predictable pattern. A full night of sleep contains 4 to 6 complete cycles. Each cycle lasts roughly 90 minutes. Within each cycle, you move through all the stages of sleep: light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep. But these cycles are not identical. They change as the night progresses. In the first half of the night, deep sleep dominates. Your first cycle might contain 20 or 30 minutes of deep, slow-wave sleep. This is when your body does most of its physical repair. Growth hormone is released. Tissues are rebuilt. Your immune system strengthens. But as the night continues, deep sleep becomes shorter. By your third or fourth cycle, you might only spend 5 or 10 minutes in deep sleep. Instead, REM sleep expands. Your final cycle of the night might contain 30 or 40 minutes of REM sleep. This is when your most vivid dreams occur. This pattern is not random. It reflects your brain's priorities. Physical repair happens first. Memory consolidation and emotional processing come later. Your brain knows what it needs, and it allocates time accordingly. This is why cutting your sleep short, even by an hour, has such a significant impact. You are not just losing an hour of sleep. You are losing your longest, most important REM period. You are cutting off the cycle when your brain processes emotion and consolidates memory most intensely. People who wake at 5 in the morning after going to bed at midnight are not getting 7 hours of sleep. They are getting 7 hours of time in bed, but they are missing crucial stages of the sleep cycle. They wake before their brain has finished its work. This is also why sleeping in on weekends feels so good. You are not just resting longer. You are allowing your brain to complete its full cycles, to finish the work it started, to reach those long, restorative REM periods that occur in the early morning hours. But sleep cycles can be disrupted. Alcohol, for example, suppresses REM sleep. You might fall asleep quickly after drinking, but your brain never enters deep REM states. You wake feeling unrested, foggy, irritable. You slept, but your brain did not get what it needed. Sleeping pills have a similar effect. They sedate you, but they do not produce natural sleep. The brain waves are different. The cycles are disrupted. You are unconscious, but you are not truly sleeping. This is why people who rely on sleeping pills often feel groggy and unrested even after a full night in bed. Your brain knows how to sleep. It has been doing it since before you were born. Infants in the womb spend most of their time in a sleep-like state. Sleep is older than consciousness. It is built into the deepest parts of your brain. And every night, without you thinking about it, without you controlling it, your brain moves through these cycles. It knows when to dive deep, when to surface, when to dream, when to repair. All you have to do is let it happen. What happens when you don't sleep? There is a rare genetic disorder called fatal familial insomnia. It is extraordinarily uncommon, affecting only a few dozen families in the world. But it is also one of the most terrifying diseases known to medicine. It begins with mild insomnia, difficulty falling asleep, restless nights. At first, it seems like ordinary stress, but it worsens. Week by week, sleep becomes harder to achieve, then impossible. The person stops sleeping entirely, not by choice. Their brain simply loses the ability to enter sleep states. And once sleep stops, everything else begins to unravel. They develop severe anxiety and panic attacks. Their body temperature becomes unstable. They lose weight rapidly. They hallucinate. Their memory fails. They become confused, disoriented, unable to think clearly. Within months, they are completely incapacitated, and within a year or two, they die. There is no cure, no treatment. Once the insomnia begins, the outcome is inevitable: death from the absence of sleep. This disease is rare, but it teaches us something profound. Sleep is not optional. It is not something your body can adapt to living without. Remove sleep and the body dies, not slowly, not gradually, but catastrophically. Most people will never experience total sleep deprivation, but many experience chronic partial sleep deprivation, night after night of 5 or 6 hours instead of 7 or 8. This does not kill you immediately, but it damages you in ways that accumulate over time. Your immune system weakens. Studies show that people who sleep less than 6 hours per night are 4 times more likely to catch a cold when exposed to the virus. Sleep deprivation reduces the production of antibodies. It impairs the function of T cells. Your body becomes less able to fight infection. Your metabolism shifts. Sleep deprivation increases hunger hormones and decreases satiety hormones. You feel hungrier. You crave high-calorie foods. You eat more, but you feel less satisfied. Over time, this leads to weight gain. Chronic sleep deprivation is strongly linked to obesity. Your cardiovascular system suffers. People who sleep less than 6 hours per night have a significantly higher risk of heart attack and stroke. Sleep deprivation increases blood pressure. It promotes inflammation. It stresses the heart in ways that accumulate over years. Your brain suffers most of all. Without enough sleep, the glymphatic system cannot fully clear waste. Toxins build up. Connections between neurons weaken. The hippocampus, essential for memory, begins to shrink. Cognitive decline accelerates. There is growing evidence that chronic sleep deprivation in midlife increases the risk of dementia decades later. The damage is not immediate, but it is real, and it is irreversible. This is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to illustrate a simple truth. Sleep is not a luxury. It is a biological necessity, and ignoring that necessity has real, measurable consequences. But the good news is that sleep is also restorative. One good night of sleep does not undo years of sleep deprivation, but it does help. Your body begins to recover. Your brain clears waste. Your immune system strengthens. Every night of good sleep is a step toward better health. You cannot catch up on lost sleep entirely, but you can stop accumulating damage. You can give your body what it needs going forward, and that makes an enormous difference. Sleep across the lifespan. Sleep changes as you age. The sleep of a newborn looks nothing like the sleep of a teenager, which looks nothing like the sleep of an elderly person. Each stage of life has its own sleep needs, its own patterns, its own challenges. Newborns sleep 16 to 18 hours a day, but their sleep is fragmented. They wake every few hours to feed. They do not yet have a circadian rhythm. Day and night mean nothing to them. Their sleep is divided almost equally between REM and non-REM sleep, and much of their REM sleep is spent in active brain development. This is because a baby's brain is growing at an astonishing rate. Millions of new neural connections are forming every day. Sleep is when this growth happens. REM sleep, in particular, seems to play a critical role in brain development. Infants spend more time in REM sleep than at any other point in life. As children grow, their sleep consolidates. They begin sleeping through the night. Their circadian rhythm develops. By age 2 or 3, most children sleep 10 to 12 hours per night, with 1 or 2 naps during the day. By age 5, most have given up naps entirely. School-age children need 9 to 11 hours of sleep, but many do not get it. Early school start times, homework, extracurricular activities, screens, all of these compete with sleep. And the consequences are real. Sleep-deprived children struggle in school. They have more behavioral problems. They are more prone to anxiety and depression. Then comes adolescence, and everything changes. Teenagers need 8 to 10 hours of sleep, but their circadian rhythm shifts. Puberty causes a biological delay in the release of melatonin, the hormone that makes you feel sleepy. Teenagers naturally feel awake later at night and want to sleep later in the morning. This is not laziness. It is biology. But society does not accommodate this. Schools start early. Teenagers are forced to wake at 6 or 7 in the morning, even though their bodies are not ready. They go to bed late because their brains are not releasing melatonin until 10 or 11 at night. The result is chronic sleep deprivation. Studies show that teenagers who start school later perform better academically. They have fewer car accidents. They have lower rates of depression. Simply allowing teenagers to sleep according to their natural rhythm improves nearly every aspect of their lives. But most teenagers do not get this opportunity. They are expected to function on 6 or 7 hours of sleep. They drink coffee. They push through. They believe they are fine. But their brains are not developing as they should. Their emotional regulation is impaired. Their learning is compromised. In adulthood, sleep stabilizes. Most adults need 7 to 9 hours, but life often interferes. Work, family, stress, screens, all of these steal sleep, and most adults accept this. They believe that 6 hours is enough, that they can function on less. That sleep is something they will catch up on later. But later never comes, and the damage accumulates. Then comes old age, and sleep changes again. Elderly people often sleep less. They wake more frequently during the night. Their deep sleep becomes shallower. They spend less time in REM sleep. This is not because they need less sleep. It is because their brains struggle to produce sleep. The systems that regulate sleep weaken with age. Melatonin production decreases. The circadian rhythm becomes less stable. Sleep becomes fragmented. Elderly people often feel tired during the day, even after spending 8 hours in bed, because they did not get 8 hours of quality sleep. This is why naps become more common in old age. The brain needs sleep, but it cannot get it all at once, so it takes it in fragments. A nap in the afternoon, a doze in the evening. These are not signs of laziness. They are signs of a brain trying to meet its needs however it can. But poor sleep in old age is not inevitable. Exercise helps. Light exposure during the day helps. Regular sleep schedules help. Sleep can be protected even as the brain ages. Across the entire lifespan, sleep is essential. It looks different at different ages, but the need never goes away. From the moment you are born until the moment you die, your brain depends on sleep. And the better you sleep at every stage of life, the healthier you will be, the sharper your mind, the more stable your emotions, the stronger your body. Sleep is not something you outgrow. It is something you need always. The science of dreaming. Dreams have fascinated humans for thousands of years. Ancient civilizations believed dreams were messages from the gods, prophetic visions, windows into the future. Even today, people search for meaning in their dreams. They wonder what it means to dream of falling, of flying, of being chased. But from a scientific perspective, dreams are not messages. They are not prophecies. They are not trying to tell you something. Dreams are simply your brain processing information while you sleep. This does not make them less interesting. If anything, it makes them more extraordinary. Your brain creates entire worlds while you are unconscious. It generates people, places, events, emotions, all without any external input. You are the writer, director, and actor in a movie that exists only inside your head. Dreams occur primarily during REM sleep, though some dreaming happens during other stages as well. During REM sleep, your visual cortex is active. Your auditory cortex is active. Your motor cortex is active. But your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic and self-awareness, is mostly quiet. This is why dreams are so illogical. Why impossible things happen and you do not question them. Why you can fly, breathe underwater, talk to people who are dead, and it all seems perfectly normal. Your brain is generating experiences, but it is not checking whether those experiences make sense. The content of dreams is influenced by your life. Things you thought about during the day often appear in dreams. Problems you are worrying about, people you interacted with, emotions you experienced. Your brain takes these elements and remixes them. It does not replay events, it reimagines them. This is why dreams are so strange. You might dream about your childhood home, but your current coworkers are there. You might dream about a conversation with a friend, but it happens in a place you have never been. Your brain is not bound by logic or reality. It is free to combine elements in any way it chooses. Some dreams are recurring. The same scenario over and over, being late for a test, losing your teeth, being chased by something you cannot see. These dreams often reflect unresolved anxiety. Your brain is trying to process a feeling, but it cannot resolve it, so it keeps returning to the same scenario. Nightmares are dreams with intense negative emotion. Fear, usually, but also guilt, sadness, or helplessness. Nightmares occur during REM sleep, and they activate the amygdala intensely. Your brain is processing fear, but because the prefrontal cortex is quiet, you cannot rationalize the fear away. It feels overwhelming. Most people have nightmares occasionally, but frequent nightmares can be a sign of stress, trauma, or sleep disorders. The brain is struggling to process difficult emotions, and it keeps cycling back to fear. Lucid dreaming, as mentioned earlier, is when you become aware that you are dreaming while still asleep. This is rare, but it can be trained. People who practice reality checks during the day, asking themselves, "Am I dreaming?" and looking for inconsistencies, sometimes begin to ask the same question in dreams. And when they do, they realize they are dreaming. Once lucid, some people can control their dreams, decide where to go, what to do, fly, explore, confront fears. This is not magic. It is a real phenomenon that has been studied in sleep labs, but it requires practice and it is not easy. Most people do not remember their dreams. The moment you wake, the memory of the dream begins to fade. Within 5 minutes, most dreams are forgotten entirely. This is normal. Your brain does not prioritize dream memories. They are not useful for navigating waking life, so they are discarded. But some people remember their dreams vividly. They wake with detailed, clear memories of entire dream narratives. This is not necessarily better. It is just a difference in how their brain handles memory during the transition from sleep to waking. One fascinating aspect of dreaming is that everyone dreams. Even people who claim they never dream are simply not remembering their dreams. Brain scans show REM sleep in everyone. The dreaming is happening. The memory is just not being stored. Blind people dream. People who were born blind do not dream in visual images, but they dream in sound, touch, smell, and emotion. People who lost their sight later in life often continue to dream in images, though those images may fade over time. Animals dream as well. Dogs twitch and whimper in their sleep. Cats move their paws as if running. Birds show brain activity during sleep that matches their waking patterns of song. Rats replay mazes they ran during the day. Dreaming is not unique to humans. It is a fundamental part of how brains process experience. No one knows exactly why we dream. The theory that dreams process emotions is compelling, but it is not proven. Some researchers believe dreams are simply the brain's way of staying active during sleep. Others believe they serve no function at all. They are just noise, random firings of neurons with no purpose. But regardless of why dreams exist, they are a window into how your brain works. They reveal what you are thinking about, what you are feeling, what you are afraid of, not in a mystical way, but in a practical, biological way. Your brain is always working, always processing, and dreams are part of that process. Sleep and mental health. There is a deep, bidirectional relationship between sleep and mental health. Poor sleep worsens mental health, and poor mental health disrupts sleep. They feed into each other, creating cycles that are difficult to break. Depression and sleep are intimately connected. Nearly everyone with depression experiences sleep disturbances. Some people sleep too much. They spend 12, 14, 16 hours in bed, but they wake feeling exhausted. Others cannot sleep at all. They lie awake for hours, their minds racing with dark thoughts. Insomnia is one of the most common symptoms of depression, but it is also a risk factor. People who experience chronic insomnia are more likely to develop depression later. Sleep problems often appear before the depression itself, a warning sign that something is wrong. This makes sense when you understand what sleep does. Sleep processes emotion. It regulates mood. It clears toxins from the brain. Without adequate sleep, the brain cannot maintain emotional stability. Negative thoughts become harder to control. Small problems feel overwhelming. Hope becomes harder to access. Treating insomnia can sometimes improve depression. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, a structured program that teaches better sleep habits and addresses anxious thoughts about sleep, has been shown to reduce depressive symptoms. Not because sleep cures depression, but because sleep gives the brain the resources it needs to cope. Anxiety and sleep also interact. Anxious people often struggle to fall asleep. Their minds race. They worry about the next day. They replay conversations. They imagine worst-case scenarios. The bed becomes a place of stress rather than rest. And the less they sleep, the more anxious they become. Sleep deprivation increases activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center. It makes you more reactive to threats, real or imagined. Small worries become large. Manageable problems feel catastrophic. This is why anxiety often peaks at night. You lie in the dark, and suddenly everything feels urgent. Problems that seemed manageable during the day feel insurmountable. This is not irrational. It is a tired brain, a brain that has not had the chance to reset. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, is also closely linked to sleep. People with PTSD often experience nightmares. They relive traumatic events in their dreams. They wake in a panic, heart racing, unable to distinguish dream from reality. REM sleep is supposed to process difficult emotions, to soften their intensity. But in PTSD, this process seems to break down. Instead of resolving the trauma, REM sleep reactivates it. The nightmare does not bring relief. It brings re-traumatization. This is why sleep disturbances are considered a core symptom of PTSD. And treating those disturbances can sometimes improve other symptoms. Therapies that reduce nightmares, that help people feel safe enough to sleep, can be profoundly healing. Bipolar disorder also involves severe sleep disruption. During manic episodes, people need very little sleep. They feel energized, invincible, capable of anything on just a few hours of rest. But this is not healthy sleep. It is the brain operating in overdrive, burning through resources it does not have. And during depressive episodes, sleep becomes excessive or impossible. The brain swings between extremes, and sleep swings with it. Even attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, is linked to sleep problems. Many people with ADHD struggle to fall asleep. Their minds are too active. Their bodies are too restless. And the resulting sleep deprivation worsens their ADHD symptoms. Attention becomes harder. Impulsivity increases. The cycle continues. The relationship between sleep and mental health is so strong that some researchers now believe sleep problems should be treated as a central feature of mental illness, not just a side effect. Improving sleep does not cure mental health conditions, but it often makes them more manageable. It gives the brain a foundation to work from. This is not about willpower. It is not about trying harder to sleep or telling yourself to relax. It is about understanding that your brain needs sleep to regulate emotion, to process stress, to maintain stability. And when you give your brain that opportunity, when you protect your sleep, you give yourself the best possible chance at mental health. The role of light. Light is the most powerful signal your brain receives about when to sleep and when to wake. For millions of years, humans lived in sync with the sun. We woke when the sky brightened. We slept when darkness fell. Our bodies evolved to expect this rhythm. Your eyes contain special cells that detect light, separate from the cells that allow you to see. These cells respond to blue wavelengths, the kind of light present in daylight. When these cells detect bright blue light, they send a signal to a part of your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, your internal clock. This signal tells your brain, it is daytime. Stay alert. Suppress melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone that makes you feel sleepy. During the day, when light is bright, melatonin levels are low. You feel awake. But as the sun sets and light fades, your brain stops receiving that signal. Melatonin begins to rise. Your body temperature drops slightly. You start to feel tired. This is not fatigue from the day's activities. It is your brain preparing for sleep. This system works beautifully when you live according to natural light, but modern life disrupts it in profound ways. Artificial light confuses your brain. A bright overhead light, a television screen, a smartphone, all of these produce blue wavelengths. Your brain interprets them as daylight. It suppresses melatonin. It keeps you alert. This is why screens before bed are so harmful. You are lying in bed in the dark, telling yourself it is time to sleep. But you are staring at a bright screen. Your brain receives conflicting signals. The darkness says sleep. The screen says stay awake. You feel tired, but you cannot fall asleep. Studies show that people who use screens before bed take longer to fall asleep. They spend less time in deep sleep. They wake feeling less rested. The effect is measurable and significant. But the problem is not just screens at night. It is also insufficient light during the day. Many people spend their days indoors, under dim artificial light. Their brains never receive the strong light signal that says, it is daytime, be alert. Then at night, they are exposed to bright light from screens, lamps, streetlights. The result is a flattened circadian rhythm. The difference between day and night becomes blurred. The brain never fully commits to being awake or asleep. The solution is surprisingly simple. Get bright light exposure in the morning. Ideally, natural sunlight. Go outside for a walk. Sit by a window. Let your eyes receive bright light, especially in the first hour or two after waking. This strengthens your circadian rhythm. It tells your brain clearly, now is daytime. It makes it easier to feel alert during the day and sleepy at night. In the evening, dim the lights. Avoid screens, or at least use blue light filters. Let your environment gradually darken as you approach bedtime. Give your brain the signal that day is ending and night is beginning. This might sound overly simple, but light is the most powerful tool you have for regulating sleep, more powerful than any supplement, more effective than most medications. Your brain evolved to respond to light. When you respect that, sleep becomes easier. When you ignore it, sleep becomes a struggle. Light is not the only environmental signal your body uses to regulate sleep. Temperature plays an equally important role, though most people are unaware of it. Your body temperature is not constant. It fluctuates throughout the day in a predictable rhythm. In the late afternoon and early evening, your core body temperature peaks. You feel warm, alert, energized. But as night approaches, your temperature begins to drop. This drop in temperature is not a consequence of sleep. It is a trigger for sleep. Your body must cool down in order to fall asleep. This cooling happens naturally as part of your circadian rhythm, but it can be helped or hindered by your environment. This is why hot rooms make it difficult to sleep. If your bedroom is too warm, your body cannot cool down properly. You lie awake, uncomfortable, restless. You kick off blankets. You toss and turn. Your brain is ready to sleep, but your body temperature is fighting against it. The ideal sleep temperature for most people is between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, cooler than most people expect. A cool room allows your body to drop its core temperature naturally. You fall asleep faster. You spend more time in deep sleep. You wake less frequently. This is also why a warm bath before bed can help you sleep. It seems counterintuitive. Why would heating your body help you cool down? But when you get out of a hot bath, your body rapidly dissipates heat. Blood vessels in your skin dilate. Heat escapes. Your core temperature drops quickly. This drop signals to your brain that it is time to sleep. Your hands and feet play a special role in this process. They are your body's radiators. When your core temperature needs to drop, blood flow to your hands and feet increases. They become warm to the touch. Heat escapes through them. This is why people often stick one foot out from under the blanket while sleeping. Your body is regulating temperature. Interestingly, people with chronically cold hands and feet often struggle to fall asleep. Their blood vessels are not dilating properly. Heat is not escaping. Their core temperature remains too high. Wearing socks to bed can actually help these people sleep, not because warmth makes them sleepy, but because warming the feet dilates the blood vessels and allows core temperature to drop. Throughout the night, your body temperature continues to fall. It reaches its lowest point around 4 or 5 in the morning. Then it begins to rise again. This rise in temperature is part of what wakes you. Your body is preparing for the day ahead. This is why you often wake up needing to urinate in the early morning. Your body temperature is rising. Your metabolism is increasing. Your kidneys are becoming more active. Your body is transitioning from sleep to waking. Cold exposure during the day can also improve sleep at night. People who exercise outdoors in cool weather, who take cold showers, who spend time in cooler environments, often report better sleep. This is because their bodies become better at regulating temperature. The system becomes more efficient. But extreme cold before bed can backfire. If you are shivering, if your body is desperately trying to generate heat, sleep becomes difficult. You need to be cool but not cold, comfortable but not warm. Humidity also matters. Dry air can irritate your throat and nasal passages, making breathing uncomfortable. Overly humid air can make the room feel stuffy and warm. Moderate humidity, around 40 to 60%, is ideal for most people. All of this might seem like minor details, but small environmental changes can have profound effects on sleep quality. A room that is 2 degrees cooler, a fan to improve air circulation, a hot bath an hour before bed. These simple adjustments work with your body's natural temperature regulation rather than against it. Your body knows how to sleep. It has refined this process over millions of years, but it needs the right conditions, the right temperature, the right darkness, the right signals. When you provide these, sleep comes naturally. When you do not, sleep becomes a struggle. The myth of sleep debt. Many people believe that sleep works like a bank account. If you lose an hour of sleep one night, you can pay it back by sleeping an extra hour the next night. If you accumulate a week of poor sleep, you can catch up on the weekend. This idea is comforting. It suggests that lost sleep is not truly lost, that you can borrow against future sleep without lasting consequence, that a few late nights are harmless as long as you rest later. But this is not how sleep works. Sleep is not a commodity that can be stored or repaid. It is a biological process that must happen regularly, consistently, night after night. When you lose sleep, you cannot fully recover it. Some of the benefits of that lost sleep are gone forever. This does not mean that sleeping longer after a period of sleep deprivation is useless. Your body will prioritize deep sleep and REM sleep when you are sleep deprived. You will feel better after a long night of recovery sleep. Your cognitive function will improve. Your mood will stabilize. But you will not erase all the damage. The toxins that should have been cleared from your brain but were not. The memories that should have been consolidated but were not. The immune responses that should have been strengthened but were not. These opportunities are lost. Think of it this way. If you do not water a plant for a week, you cannot make up for it by drowning the plant in water on the 8th day. The plant needed water every day. The days it went without caused damage that cannot be fully undone. Sleep is the same. Your brain needs to clean itself every night. Your body needs to repair itself every night. Missing a night means missing that opportunity. Sleeping longer later helps, but it does not completely compensate. This is especially true for chronic partial sleep deprivation. If you sleep 6 hours a night for years, sleeping 10 hours one Saturday does not undo years of insufficient sleep. The accumulated damage is real. The missed opportunities for repair, for cleaning, for consolidation, these add up over time. Some researchers prefer the term sleep deficit rather than sleep debt. A deficit is something you cannot fully repay. It is damage that accumulates. This framing is more accurate. But this does not mean you should despair if you have lost sleep. The human body is remarkably resilient. If you begin prioritizing sleep now, your body will begin to recover. Not completely, perhaps, but significantly. Every good night of sleep is beneficial. Every consistent week of adequate sleep helps. The goal is not to perfectly repay every hour of lost sleep. The goal is to stop accumulating new damage, to give your body what it needs going forward, to establish a pattern of healthy sleep that can be sustained. This means 7 to 9 hours per night, every night. Not just on weekdays, not just when convenient, every night. Consistently, your body needs rhythm, regularity, predictability. Sleeping until noon on Saturday does not compensate for sleeping 5 hours Monday through Friday. In fact, it disrupts your circadian rhythm. It makes it harder to fall asleep Saturday night, harder to wake up Monday morning. You are constantly shifting your internal clock, creating a form of social jet lag. The best approach is consistency. Go to bed at the same time every night. Wake at the same time every morning, even on weekends, even on vacation. Your body thrives on routine. It prepares for sleep more efficiently when it knows when sleep is coming. This might seem rigid, boring, but it is how your biology works. Your circadian rhythm is most stable when it follows a predictable pattern. And when your circadian rhythm is stable, sleep comes easily. You fall asleep quickly. You wake feeling rested. You do not need to rely on willpower or stimulants. Sleep debt is a myth, but sleep deficit is real. You cannot undo the past, but you can protect the future. Starting tonight. Naps, help or hindrance. Naps are controversial. Some people swear by them. A 20-minute nap in the afternoon leaves them feeling refreshed and focused. Others find that naps make them groggy and disoriented. They wake feeling worse than before they slept. Both experiences are valid. Naps can be beneficial, but they can also interfere with nighttime sleep. It depends on timing, duration, and individual biology. A short nap, 10 to 20 minutes, is called a power nap. During this time, you enter light sleep. You do not reach deep sleep or REM sleep. When you wake, you feel alert almost immediately. There is no grogginess, no confusion, just a quick reset. Power naps improve alertness, reaction time, and mood. They are especially useful if you did not sleep well the night before. They provide a temporary boost without interfering with nighttime sleep. But if you nap longer than 30 minutes, you risk entering deep sleep, and waking from deep sleep is difficult. You feel disoriented, sluggish, foggy. This is called sleep inertia. It can last 20 or 30 minutes, sometimes longer. During this time, you actually perform worse than if you had not napped at all. The solution is either to keep naps very short, under 20 minutes, or to nap long enough to complete a full sleep cycle, around 90 minutes. A 90-minute nap allows you to pass through deep sleep and emerge naturally on the other side. You wake feeling refreshed rather than groggy. But long naps come with a cost. They reduce sleep pressure. Sleep pressure is the biological drive to sleep that builds throughout the day. The longer you are awake, the stronger the pressure becomes. This pressure is what makes you feel tired at night. It is what allows you to fall asleep. A long nap releases some of that pressure. You feel less tired at bedtime. You struggle to fall asleep. Your nighttime sleep becomes lighter, more fragmented. You might wake during the night. The next day, you feel tired again. You nap again. The cycle continues. This is why sleep specialists often advise against napping if you have insomnia. Naps reduce the sleep pressure you need to fall asleep at night. By avoiding naps, you build up enough pressure to sleep deeply and consistently. But for people without sleep problems, occasional naps are harmless. In some cultures, napping is normal and expected. The siesta, a midday rest period, is practiced in many warm climates. People sleep for an hour or two in the afternoon, then resume their day. They sleep less at night, but their total sleep remains adequate. Naps are also more common in young children and elderly adults. Children nap because their brains are developing rapidly. They need more sleep than can be comfortably packed into one nighttime period. As they grow, naps gradually disappear. By age 5 or 6, most children no longer nap. Elderly adults nap because their nighttime sleep becomes fragmented. They wake frequently. They spend less time in deep sleep. Naps help them meet their sleep needs despite poor nighttime sleep. For most adults, naps are optional. If you sleep well at night, you do not need naps. But if you are sleep-deprived, if you work irregular hours, if you need a temporary boost, a short nap can help. The key is timing. Nap early in the afternoon, ideally between 1 and 3. Napping too late in the day interferes with nighttime sleep. And keep naps short unless you have time for a full 90-minute cycle. Listen to your body. If naps leave you feeling refreshed, enjoy them. If they leave you groggy or unable to sleep at night, avoid them. There is no universal rule. Sleep is individual. Sleep disorders. For most people, sleep is a natural, effortless process. You feel tired. You lie down, you fall asleep, you wake refreshed. But for millions of people, sleep is a struggle. They want to sleep. They try to sleep, but their bodies will not cooperate. Insomnia is the most common sleep disorder. It is defined as difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking too early despite having the opportunity to sleep. Occasional insomnia is normal. A stressful event, a change in routine, a noisy environment. These can disrupt sleep temporarily. But chronic insomnia persists for months or years. People with chronic insomnia often develop anxiety about sleep itself. They worry they will not be able to fall asleep. They watch the clock. They calculate how many hours they have left. The bed becomes a place of stress rather than rest. This anxiety makes the problem worse. The more you worry about sleep, the harder it becomes. Your brain is too alert, too vigilant. It cannot relax enough to let sleep happen. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, is the most effective treatment. It teaches people to change their thoughts and behaviors around sleep, to associate the bed with sleep rather than wakefulness, to reduce anxiety, to trust their body's ability to sleep. Sleep apnea is another common disorder, though many people do not realize they have it. In sleep apnea, breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. The airway collapses. Oxygen levels drop. The brain panics and wakes the person just enough to reopen the airway. This happens dozens, sometimes hundreds of times per night. The person rarely fully wakes. They do not remember it happening, but their sleep is constantly interrupted. They never reach deep sleep. They never fully rest. People with sleep apnea often snore loudly. They wake gasping or choking. They feel exhausted during the day no matter how long they spend in bed. They may develop high blood pressure, heart problems, and cognitive difficulties. The most common treatment is a CPAP machine, which delivers pressurized air through a mask, keeping the airway open. It is not comfortable at first, but it is effective. People often report dramatic improvements in energy, mood, and cognitive function once their sleep apnea is treated. Restless leg syndrome is a neurological disorder that causes uncomfortable sensations in the legs, especially at night. People describe it as crawling, tingling, aching, an overwhelming urge to move. The only relief is to move the legs, but this makes sleep impossible. The exact cause is unknown, but it is linked to iron deficiency and dopamine dysfunction. Treatment often includes iron supplements, medications, and lifestyle changes. Narcolepsy is a rare disorder where the brain cannot properly regulate sleep-wake cycles. People with narcolepsy experience sudden, overwhelming sleep attacks during the day. They fall asleep without warning, sometimes in dangerous situations. They may also experience cataplexy, a sudden loss of muscle tone triggered by strong emotion. Laughter, surprise, anger, these can cause a person with narcolepsy to collapse, fully awake but unable to move. Narcolepsy is caused by a loss of neurons that produce a neurotransmitter called hypocretin, which regulates wakefulness. There is no cure, but medications can help manage symptoms. Sleepwalking, sleep-talking, and night terrors are parasomnias, behaviors that occur during sleep. They are more common in children but can persist into adulthood. During a parasomnia, the brain is partially asleep and partially awake. The person can move and act but has no conscious awareness. Sleepwalkers can perform complex actions. They can walk, open doors, even leave the house. But they are not awake. They do not remember it later. Waking a sleepwalker is not dangerous, but it is disorienting for them. Night terrors are different from nightmares. In a nightmare, you wake and remember the dream. In a night terror, you remain asleep but appear terrified. You may scream, thrash, breathe rapidly, but you are not conscious. You will not respond to comfort, and you will not remember it in the morning. Sleep disorders are not character flaws. They are not a lack of willpower. They are medical conditions that require treatment. If you consistently struggle to sleep, if you feel exhausted despite spending enough time in bed, if your partner notices unusual behaviors during your sleep, talk to a doctor. Sleep is essential, and when it is disrupted, everything suffers, but help is available, treatment exists. You do not have to live with poor sleep forever. Shift work and jet lag. Humans evolved to be awake during the day and asleep at night. Our entire biology is built around this pattern, but modern society often demands otherwise. Nurses work overnight shifts. Pilots cross time zones. Factory workers rotate between day and night schedules. This conflict between biology and schedule creates serious health problems. Shift work disorder occurs when your work schedule forces you to be awake when your body wants to sleep. Your circadian rhythm says sleep, but your job says stay awake. You fight against your own biology every single day. Night shift workers are constantly sleep-deprived. Even if they sleep during the day, that sleep is lighter and shorter than nighttime sleep. The room is not completely dark. The world is noisy. Their body temperature is rising when it should be falling. Their circadian rhythm is telling them to wake up. Over time, this causes serious health problems. Night shift workers have higher rates of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, depression, and certain cancers. Their immune systems are weaker. Their cognitive function declines. They age faster. This is not because they are sleeping less, though many are. It is because they are sleeping at the wrong time. Their bodies never fully adjust to the night shift schedule. Even after years of night work, the circadian rhythm continues to pull toward daytime waking. Some people cope better than others. Night owls, people whose natural circadian rhythm is delayed, adapt more easily to night shifts. Morning larks, people who naturally wake early, struggle more, but no one fully adapts. Everyone pays a cost. The best solution from a health perspective is to avoid shift work if possible. But for many people, this is not realistic. If you must work shifts, there are strategies that help. First, try to maintain a consistent schedule. Rotating shifts, where you work days one week and nights the next, are the most damaging. Your body never has a chance to adapt. Fixed night shifts are better. Your circadian rhythm will not fully adjust, but it will shift somewhat. Second, control light exposure. Bright light during your work shift keeps you alert. Darkness before you go to bed helps you sleep. Wear sunglasses on your drive home in the morning. Blackout curtains in your bedroom are essential. Third, consider strategic napping. A short nap before your shift can improve alertness. A nap during your shift, if allowed, can help you get through the long hours. Fourth, be cautious with caffeine. It can help you stay awake, but if you drink it too late in your shift, it will interfere with daytime sleep. Stop consuming caffeine at least 4 hours before you plan to sleep. Fifth, protect your sleep time. Treat daytime sleep as seriously as nighttime sleep. Turn off your phone. Tell your family not to disturb you. Create a dark, cool, quiet environment. Do not accept just a quick errand during your sleep time. Sleep is not optional. Jet lag is a temporary version of shift work disorder. When you fly across time zones, your body is suddenly in a place where the local time does not match your internal clock. You arrive in a new city at noon, but your body believes it is 3 in the morning. You are exhausted when everyone else is awake. You are wide awake when everyone else is sleeping. Your circadian rhythm cannot shift instantly. It adjusts gradually, about 1 hour per day. If you travel across 3 time zones, it takes roughly 3 days to fully adjust. 6 time zones take 6 days. But you can speed up the process. Light is the most powerful signal for adjusting your circadian rhythm. If you travel east, where the day comes earlier, expose yourself to bright morning light. This shifts your rhythm earlier. If you travel west, where the day comes later, expose yourself to bright evening light. This delays your rhythm. Avoid napping if possible. Stay awake until the local bedtime. This builds sleep pressure and makes it easier to sleep through the night. If you must nap, keep it short. Melatonin supplements can also help. Taking melatonin in the evening, at the local bedtime, signals to your body that it is time to sleep. But melatonin is not a sleeping pill. It is a circadian signal. It works best when combined with proper light exposure. Frequent travelers often struggle chronically. Their circadian rhythms never fully stabilize. They exist in a state of perpetual jet lag. This takes a toll on health, mood, and cognitive function. The human body is not designed for this. We are diurnal creatures. We need daylight to wake us and darkness to signal sleep. When we fight against this, we suffer. But modern life demands flexibility. We travel. We work unusual hours. We stay up late. We wake early. The challenge is to do this in ways that minimize harm, to respect our biology even when we cannot fully accommodate it. Sleep aids, what works and what doesn't. When sleep becomes difficult, many people turn to sleep aids. Pills, supplements, drinks, gadgets. The market is flooded with products promising better sleep, but most of them do not work as advertised, and some are actively harmful. Sleeping pills are the most common intervention. Prescription medications like zolpidem, escipicolone, and benzodiazepines are widely used. They make you unconscious, but they do not produce natural sleep. Brain wave studies show that sleep under medication looks different from natural sleep. The stages are altered. Deep sleep is reduced. The brain's natural rhythm is disrupted. You are sedated, not sleeping. People who take sleeping pills often feel groggy the next day. They have memory problems. They struggle with coordination. And over time, their bodies become dependent. They cannot sleep without the medication. Sleeping pills also carry serious risks. They increase the risk of falls, especially in elderly people. They can cause sleepwalking, sleep eating, even sleep driving. People have woken to find they cooked meals, sent emails, or drove their cars with no memory of doing so. Long-term use of sleeping pills is associated with increased risk of dementia and early death. The medications are meant to be used short-term, for a few weeks at most, but many people take them for years. Melatonin is a popular alternative. It is a hormone your body produces naturally to signal that it is time to sleep. Taking melatonin supplements can help with circadian rhythm problems like jet lag or shift work, but it is not effective for ordinary insomnia. melatonin does not make you sleep. It makes your body feel like it is bedtime. If your problem is that your circadian rhythm is misaligned, melatonin can help. But if your problem is anxiety, stress, or poor sleep habits, melatonin will do nothing. The correct dose of melatonin is also much lower than most supplements provide. Studies suggest that 0.3 to 1 milligram is effective. Most supplements contain 3, 5, even 10 milligrams. This excess is simply excreted. It does not improve sleep, and it may cause grogginess the next day. Antihistamines, the active ingredient in many over-the-counter sleep aids, make you drowsy. But they do not improve sleep quality. They suppress REM sleep. They cause dry mouth, constipation, and grogginess. And like prescription sleeping pills, your body builds tolerance. Over time, they stop working. Alcohol is perhaps the most commonly used sleep aid. A nightcap, a glass of wine before bed. Alcohol makes you drowsy. It helps you fall asleep faster, but it destroys sleep quality. Alcohol fragments sleep. It suppresses REM sleep. It causes you to wake more frequently, even if you do not remember waking. You spend more time in light sleep and less in deep, restorative sleep. You wake feeling unrested, foggy, irritable. People who drink regularly to help them sleep often develop dependence. They cannot fall asleep without alcohol, and their overall sleep quality declines steadily over time. Cannabis is increasingly used as a sleep aid. Some people find it helps them relax and fall asleep, but the research is mixed. THC, the psychoactive component of cannabis, may reduce REM sleep, and like alcohol, regular use can lead to dependence. So what does work? The most effective interventions are not pills. They are behaviors. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia is more effective than any medication. It teaches you to change the thoughts and habits that interfere with sleep. It has no side effects, and the benefits last long after treatment ends. Regular exercise improves sleep. People who exercise sleep more deeply and wake feeling more rested. But exercise too close to bedtime can be stimulating. Aim to finish intense exercise at least 3 hours before bed. A consistent sleep schedule is crucial. Going to bed and waking at the same time every day, even weekends, stabilizes your circadian rhythm. Your body learns when to expect sleep. It prepares in advance. Sleep comes more easily. A cool, dark, quiet bedroom makes sleep easier. Your body needs to cool down to sleep. Darkness signals to your brain that it is nighttime. Silence reduces arousals. These are simple changes, but they matter. Limiting caffeine and alcohol helps. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 6 hours. If you drink coffee at 4 in the afternoon, half of that caffeine is still in your system at 10 at night. It might not feel like it is keeping you awake, but it is making your sleep lighter. Reducing screen time before bed helps. If you must use screens, use blue light filters. Dim the brightness. Better yet, replace screens with reading, conversation, or quiet relaxation. Managing stress and anxiety is essential. Racing thoughts are one of the most common causes of insomnia. Meditation, journaling, therapy, these can all help quiet the mind. Sleep is not a problem to be solved with pills. It is a natural process that requires the right conditions. When you create those conditions, sleep happens on its own. Why sleep might be the most important human activity. Let us return to where we began, with a simple, unavoidable fact. You will spend approximately 1/3 of your life asleep. If you live 80 years, you will sleep for roughly 27 of them. 27 years of darkness, 27 years of stillness, 27 years when you are not working, not creating, not experiencing the world in any conscious way. This seems like an enormous loss, a tragic waste of time. Imagine what you could do with 27 extra years, the places you could visit, the people you could meet, the knowledge you could gain, the work you could complete. But this perspective misses something fundamental. Sleep is not time stolen from life. Sleep is what makes life possible. Every moment of clarity you have ever experienced, sleep made that possible. Every memory you cherish, sleep helped create it. Every physical accomplishment, every creative insight, every connection with another person, all of it was built on a foundation of sleep. Without sleep, the brain begins to break down, not slowly, not gradually, but catastrophically. Within 24 hours of sleep deprivation, your cognitive performance declines significantly. Attention falters, memory weakens, decision-making becomes impaired. You are operating at diminished capacity, though you may not realize it. Within 48 hours, the damage accelerates. Micro-sleeps begin, brief moments where your brain simply shuts off, even though your eyes are open. You might be driving, working, talking, and suddenly your brain goes offline for a few seconds. You have no control over this. Your brain is trying desperately to get the sleep it needs. Within 72 hours, hallucinations can begin. Your brain starts generating perceptions that do not exist. You see things that are not there. You hear voices. You become paranoid. The boundary between waking and dreaming dissolves. If sleep deprivation continues beyond this point, the consequences become life-threatening. Your immune system collapses. Your metabolism breaks down. Your cardiovascular system destabilizes. Your brain can no longer regulate your body. Systems that have functioned automatically your entire life begin to fail. This is not exaggeration. This is what happens when sleep is removed. The body cannot survive without it. But why? Why is sleep so essential that its absence causes total system failure? Because sleep is not one thing. It is everything. Sleep is when your brain clears waste, when memories are consolidated, when emotions are processed, when problems are solved, when creativity emerges, when the immune system strengthens, when tissues repair, when hormones balance, when energy is restored. Sleep is not rest. Rest is what you do when you sit quietly, when you take a break, when you stop working for a moment. Rest is valuable, but it is not sleep. Sleep is active maintenance. It is the biological process that keeps every system in your body functioning. Remove it, and everything breaks down. Protect it, and everything works better. Evolution has had billions of years to optimize life, to remove inefficiencies, to eliminate unnecessary processes. If sleep were optional, if there were any way for organisms to function without it, evolution would have discovered it. But sleep remains, in every animal, in every branch of the tree of life, because sleep is not optional, it is fundamental. Think of sleep as evolution's reset button. Every day you accumulate damage, physical damage to tissues, chemical imbalances in the brain, emotional experiences that need processing, memories that need organizing, waste products that need clearing. If this damage simply accumulated, day after day, year after year, you would break down. Your body would wear out. Your brain would become cluttered. Your emotions would become overwhelming. But every night, sleep resets you. It repairs the damage. It clears the waste. It organizes the chaos. It gives you the chance to start fresh the next day. This is why people who sleep well feel different. Not just more rested, but more alive, more capable, more resilient, more themselves. Sleep is not something you do when you have time. It is not a luxury reserved for weekends and vacations. It is not something you should sacrifice for work, for entertainment, for anything. Sleep is the foundation of everything else. Without it, nothing else matters. With it, everything becomes possible. A quiet reflection. There is something beautiful about sleep, something almost sacred. Every night you lie down, you close your eyes, and you trust. You trust that your body knows what to do, that your brain will take care of you, that you will wake again in the morning. This trust is profound. You surrender control completely. You let go of consciousness. You allow yourself to become vulnerable, defenseless, still. And while you are gone, while you are somewhere beyond thought and awareness, your body works. Quietly, patiently, without fanfare or recognition. Your brain cleans itself. Your cells repair themselves. Your memories organize themselves. Your emotions process themselves. All of this happens in silence, in darkness, without you ever knowing. When you wake, you do not see the work that was done. You do not feel the toxins that were cleared or the connections that were strengthened. You simply open your eyes and feel ready. ready for another day, ready to be alive. This is the gift of sleep. Not just rest, but renewal. Not just recovery, but restoration. Every morning is a chance to begin again, and sleep is what makes that possible. We live in a world that does not always respect sleep. A world that values productivity over rest, busyness over stillness, wakefulness over sleep. We are told that sleep is for the weak, that successful people need less sleep, that there is too much to do and not enough time. But this is a lie, a dangerous lie. Sleep is not weakness, it is strength. It is the source of strength. Without it, everything you are trying to accomplish becomes harder. Your work suffers, your relationships suffer, your health suffers, you suffer. The most productive thing you can do is sleep. The most valuable use of your time is to give your body the rest it needs. This is not lazy, this is wise. Your body has been with you since the moment you were born. It has carried you through every experience. It has worked tirelessly, without complaint, without rest, to keep you alive. And all it asks in return is this: give me sleep. Let me repair. Let me reset. Let me prepare for another day. This is not too much to ask. This is the least you can do. The final thought. Somewhere in the world right now, someone is falling asleep. Their breathing is slowing. Their muscles are relaxing. Their thoughts are fading into silence. Within minutes, their brain will begin its nightly work. Waste will be cleared. Memories will be strengthened. Emotions will be processed. Their body will repair itself, cell by cell, system by system. And in the morning, they will wake. They will not remember what happened during the night. They will not know the intricate processes that occurred while they slept. They will simply feel ready, ready to live another day. This is happening billions of times, every night, all over the world. An invisible miracle, a biological symphony played out in darkness and silence. You are part of this. You always have been. Every night of your life, your body has done this work, and it will continue to do so for as long as you live. All you have to do is let it. Close your eyes, trust your body, let go. Sleep is not time wasted. It is time lived in a different way. Time spent healing. Time spent preparing. Time spent becoming whole. You spend 1/3 of your life asleep, and that 1/3 makes the other 2/3 possible. Sleep well, your body knows what to do. And when you wake, you will be ready. Ready for another day, ready for another chance, ready to be alive. This is the gift of sleep, the most important thing you will never remember doing. Rest now. The night is here, and your body is waiting to take care of you.